Hello and welcome to this week's edition of the Sosbans and Sidesteps podcast. Joining me, Big M, as always, the one and only Mr. HG Rugby, and, of course, New Jon. Good evening, gentlemen. How are we?
Very well, thank you. Good evening, everybody. Hello.
Yeah, not too bad, Matt, considering the weekend. Yeah, very happy.
Oh, that's charming. Neither of you asked me back.
Oh,
Jesus.
sorry, how
I'm
are
away
you?
for 1 week.
How are you?
1 week away, and you're already forgotten me. You don't care anymore.
How are you doing, Matt? Who care?
Oh, we'll move past it. Move past it. Terrible. Okay, so you did just happen to bring it up there. There was a little game against Bristol on the weekend. Before we dive into the game, have either of you seen the attendance figures? Well, I know who has. Do we know how many people exactly were in the crowd?
Sorry, I thought this was a test for John because you know that I know.
7,200 odd.
Ooh, close.
I was doing a head count, so
7,366. Let me just make sure I've got it right. Our second biggest crowd of the season. So we had more for Munster in the opening game, which was 9,079. Which, for anyone listening that likes to think that all is rosy and sunshine when England are involved, or the English teams, yeah, not so much. Bristol are the closest of the lot as well. Oh well, forget that. On to the game. I felt good for like 62 minutes, to be honest. How about you boys?
yeah, I would say about the same. I was looking back, or I was thinking back on it yesterday morning, and I was thinking that the entire second half was terrible. And then I went back to rewatch it today and realized, no, the first 20 minutes of the second half were actually pretty good, all things considered.
Was there a moment, or shall we even say substitution, where you felt that things started going a bit wrong?
I couldn't put my finger on one action that may or may not have happened in the mid 60-minute range that could have caused a change to the ebb and flow of such a tight and exciting game.
Yeah, I mean, I can't put my finger on it either. And I mean, I don't think the players could really figure it out either. If you ask them, it's not as though anyone was, looking awfully confused when a substitution was happening or not. Huw, you've been rather quiet so far.
Yeah, sorry, Mark. Sorry. I've just had a call from the TMO, mate. We're going to have to start the podcast again.
Oh, but it's only been, 5 minutes? So, yeah.
No,
Yeah.
but he spotted something. He spotted something. There was a typo. We need to go back.
Yeah, I must have said Sidesteps and Sosbans again. I got it wrong. I'm sorry, boys. I'm sorry. At least you can ask me how I am this time, and we won't have to have that awkwardness.
Yeah.
Wow.
It wasn't the best game I've ever watched. I've said it already that if I wasn't a Scarlets fan, I would have turned it off for sure. And I think it might have been Munster Bath playing at the same time. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
But I would have changed over if I wasn't a fan of one of the teams playing. The whole game from start to finish lasted 2 hours and 4 minutes. Now, we did have an 8 or 9 minute delay for Archer Holtz, and the club have said that he is expected to be making a return to play within a month, which is great because obviously it was a bit worrying scenes at one point, but it seems that he's going to make a recovery, which is great. But yeah, it was a tough watch at times, and kind of my feeling coming away from it is yet another kind of thing that I always ended up doing on this podcast, where I'm like, the better team lost, and they got to the point where I've said that like 10 times now. And how can I take myself seriously? We're obviously not the better team because we keep losing, but Bristol were rubbish. They were really quite bad, and we lost to them. And I can't really quite articulate it.
Yeah, it is a hard one. I mean, Scarlets dominated for so much of that game. All different aspects of whether it was the line out. Scrum battle was really, really good. I really enjoyed that, especially with Genge really just made Archer so uncomfortable. He just, don't be wrong, the ref should have, blown it up quite a few times earlier.
I was thinking that, Mark, because the thing I've learned most about scrums is you need to pay attention to like before the sets. You need to pay attention to like when they're binding up and stuff, and who's at what angles and stuff. And there was a few times where I thought the referee should have just reset it before. He should have gone, look, no, the space is wrong. It was clearly going to collapse in a heap. before the ball had even gone in, it was obvious that that's what was going to happen. And I think on the first scrum, Bristol like pushed like they started pushing like last Thursday. That's how early they were pushing.
Yeah,
But I felt like the ref just let that become a mess at times.
yeah, he did, and it was quite farcical when Henry Thomas came on, and the ref just said, "Look, we're seeing issues now. We got one new prop on, and we're still seeing issues. There's your guy causing the issues. Why are you not doing anything about it?" But yeah, Henry Thomas, he's a good old scrummager. He's an old head. He's been around the block a few times, and he was able just to negate everything Genj was trying to do, which was brilliant to see and
Do,
brilliant to watch.
do you think he's back? Because obviously he had a horrible first 5 games of the season where we were like, this guy, is he playing with a hernia or something? What's wrong with him? But he seemed back to normal in this game.
He seemed really up for it, and I don't know whether that was a fact of obviously he does have those England caps. He probably does have quite a bit of knowledge of these boys. Probably a few squad members he knows as well. So I don't know if it was a chance of he just really wanted to stick one to them in a few places or not. But too early to tell. But very encouraging signs. More the Henry Thomas from last season than what we've seen so far.
And
So
Matthias played 70.
little bit disappointed with that. Don't, and not for the fact that Matthias isn't a good player. I do think, and I will until someone puts in a performance better. Think he is the best Welsh loosehead there is at the minute. All leagues included. I was more disappointed for Sam O'Connor. I don't see the point in having these 10-minute cameos. They just don't do anything. They cause more disruption than anything because especially if you're putting a younger player on, there's more pressure on them to try and force something and do something to prove whatever they may be feeling. You give them a good 20, 25 minutes, and they're like, okay, I've got time. Take it slow, step by step, tackle by tackle, scrum by scrum, and they build into the game instead of, okay, I've only got a few minutes. Christ, I got to do something. They run out of the line or they do something, and a mistake happens easier. I really don't like you know end game subs for like what was it? Blacker came on 73rd minute.
We
There
had
was a couple of
three subs came on post 70 minutes and one sub unused.
It was Dan Davis as well for ball at
Yeah.
75,
yeah
I think.
yeah. I'm not a big fan of subs that late. Injury enforced. Yeah, if you've got the experience on the bench, and I mean, boys 28, 29 plus who've got 7,500 games under their belt. Yeah, fair enough if they're just coming on to see the game out. But when you're putting on youngsters 25 and under, it's not quite the same. They don't have that same mindset. They don't have that experience to know what to do in that environment. So
Well, if we just
yeah,
let's bring out the team sheet then and talk about it because I think right from the moment this team sheet was announced, we noticed something a bit odd, and that was 4 centers, 3 of them inside centers in the match day 23, 2 centers on the bench. And I know that Joe Hawkins is like, oh, a 10, and stuff. And I can see that that's a project. But in a team like this, he was just an extra 12 for me. And let's start with, I guess, Eddie James at 13. What did we think of that experiment?
Thought that he was maybe slightly less impactful, but he was definitely as involved as usual. Because I know we were talking about it in before the game that we thought maybe moving him out from 12 to 13 was a little bit risky, but I thought his impact on the game was pretty solid. Especially he had that great break at the start of the second half, running slightly out there. That was really nice to see. And I think he even had more carries in this game than the Glasgow game last week. And defensively as well, I think did he lead tackles or he was
Yeah, he
second
was our
highest
top
tackler?
tackler, which is really unusual for a 13. Really, really unusual.
Yeah, but I wasn't. I must admit I wasn't really looking so much at his positioning in defense because I was more interested to see where Johnny Williams was lining up. So um, I'm assuming that he was just covering just outside Williams as normal, but like, yeah, it looked. I thought he was all right at 13. I didn't
He
have any problems with
smashed
him there.
Tom Jordan in the first half, late in the first half.
yeah,
Yeah,
mega
there,
hit he put in. Fair play to him. You know, I think it's the under 20s was the last time Eddie actually wore the 13 shirt. Now I'm not sure how many times he's been on the bench for us and maybe slotted in there for whatever reason, but this isn't the first time. Well, if you're going on recent memory, this sort of thing has happened quite a lot with us over the last what, decade or so. Scott Williams and John Fox both played 12, both played 13. Hadley Parks exactly the same. Obviously, Johnny Williams over the last couple of seasons started transitioning. I say transition, started playing more 13, and now we're sort of seeing it with Eddie. So it's not kind of unusual for Scarlet centers to play both. Probably the first time we've properly seen Eddie there for a good hour, because obviously Joe Roberts came on and he resumed his nice usual place at 12. I can't say it worked as they probably planned, just because we didn't get that sort of go forward. We didn't get that ball wide enough. No, I know
No.
Ellis Me had a great game. Tom had a good couple touches, but I would have thought for those two to really that centre partnership to have worked, that the ball would have been in the wingers' hands a lot more than what they were in that game.
I think that generally Eddie played well, and I'm not surprised that they tried it. I actually kind of wonder if Team Wales has had a word and said, "Can we try this?" Because, in my opinion, is that Eddie James is a better rugby player than Max Llewellyn, and if they're wedded to this second playmaker at 12 thing, but for me, Eddie James's ceiling is the highest of the centres, then I can see why Wales might have gone, "Can we try starting to play this guy as a 13?" It's funny because me and John were joking about last week about the whole Hadley Parks Scott Williams being named the wrong way round in Europe back in the Dwayne Peel days, not the Dwayne Peel days, the Wayne Pivac days, and then it actually happened that Johnny and Eddie were named the wrong way round in this game. But I would have been fine with it except for having the two centres on the bench, and I really think that Dwayne has snookered himself here. He's really given himself like one hand behind the back in terms of having to bring both Joe Hawkins and Joe Roberts on. Obviously, two of our better players, but he's had to take off Sam Costello to do it. And I just think he's given himself a headache that he did not need to give himself.
Well,
Yeah,
that was something that I actually started thinking in after we saw the team sheet. You were saying maybe Team Wales has had the conversation about can he shift out to 13? Um, we were really trying to figure out last week where does Joe Hawkins fit into this team? Because we were saying wherever he goes, he needs a run at a position, whether that's 10 or 12. And we ended up by saying, well, Eddie James, I certainly think is the better 12 option. So then when this team sheet came out, I was thinking, well, what if you did try and play James at 13, Hawkins at 12,
Hmm.
and Costello at 10? And I thought, well, maybe that's the substitution we're going to see. And I think that substitution could have been very interesting. Okay, you don't really want to bring it out for the first time in the Champions Cup, maybe, but I would have been really interested to have seen Hawkins come on for Johnny Williams instead. I think that could have been really interesting. Instead,
Yeah.
we just got the momentum kind of taken out of the attack.
yeah. I think that would have probably made a lot more sense in terms of trying to add a little bit, because even if we do, take it on the surface that Joe Hawkins is the 10 cover and that we expect that change to happen. You look at the three back replacements. Yes, Dane Black. She's always a toss up between him and Archie. I think Archie might be unavailable at the minute. I didn't actually check the team sheet report that lists everyone.
He was listed at the bottom as being unavailable.
Yeah, there we go then. But then you have Joe Hawkins and Joe Roberts, both players that we know are a lot better when they start. And we've talked about players who are able to have an impact off the bench. And Johnny Williams is one of those players. He's proven he can do it. Eddie James might be able to do it. Obviously he's still pretty young in his career.
Of
But
the three, Johnny Williams is the impact player.
yeah, 100%. Johnny Williams is the one you put on the bench. If you're having all of them, or at least three of them involved in the match day 23, Johnny Williams is the one on the bench, because he comes on, he provides that impetus, he brings more tempo into the game just by just one carry straight up the guts. He's proven he does it for us repeatedly. So it does have you scratching your head. It's as if we're playing as if we'd expect, we're determined to try and get ahead by the 60th minute and then bring these boys on and then play conservatively for the last 20 minutes, because that is exactly what happened. We did nothing more or less from the moment Joe Hawkins came on the park. And obviously, it's not great when Dane came on the 73rd minute, but everything just took another gear down at that point as well, when both halfbacks had been changed. Now, I'm not saying that's entirely his fault, but something's got to give. But there, we're talking, first game back in the Champions Cup. By all rights, should have won.
We should have won. The game was there to be won. We've lost against a bad team.
Yeah, but we've got a bonus point out of it. Doesn't mean qualifications is gone, obviously. But we're talking as if we've taken quite a hefty loss by you. And I think
I
that's
was
just
really deflated after the game. I was really deflated after the game because I really wanted us. I really wanted us to win. I really, because even in the second half, like there was this kicking battle, and Bristol just had no kicking strategy at all. It's like the most aimless kicking you've ever seen. And actually, Pat Lam, who's a coach who actually doesn't like kicking, even he was like, "God, this is some shit kicking. Like this is bad." And it stopped when Sam Costello, I think he got Henry Thomas. He went, carry the ball in a ruck there. And that's when the bad kicking stops and the Scarlets actually got on top in the kicking battle. But I was really deflated after the game because I really wanted it. I thought that game was there for the winning. I thought we fumbled it basically. So that's why I was really struggling with that. And it was just such a protracted, drawn out game. We'll talk about the referee in a bit, I guess, but going back to the bench, I think if you've got Johnny Williams, Eddie James, and Joe Hawkins all in the 23 already, you don't need Joe Roberts on the bench. Now, if it's me, I'm starting Joe Roberts, but if he's made the decision of what his starting combination is going to be, if you look at that back line, right, you've got Ellis Smee, Jack Davis, and Tom Rodge can all play fullback. Then you've got Johnny Williams and Eddie James can both play 12 or 13, and then Joe Hawkins on the bench, you can play 12 or 10. Why do you need another back sub?
The only thing I can think of for the reason that he had them both on the bench is because they played last week against South Africa and he didn't want to potentially start them in that position. Like that's the only reason I can think that he's starting putting both of them on the bench. Like I genuinely, I don't understand why. I know it's what you opened this conversation with, but just to bring it back to the beginning, I don't know why you have four centers in your 23. I just have no idea.
Make it Max Page. Make the 23 Max Page if you desperate. I'm not saying that Max Page is a better player than Joe Roberts. Nobody on this pod thinks that. But he is an impactful player. He can do something out of nothing. He can play on the wing. But it's like this. We've been saying it for 2 years now, Mark, that the Scarlet squad is set up to play 6-2, but we just don't have the forwards.
No, and the funny thing is we did have two back row players on the bench and no lock cover, which...
Is Harvey Cuxon fit?
Again, I'm going to have to refer to the one man that looked at the unavailable list before this game, John.
I didn't see him on it. I can have another check. I'll have another check.
Okay, you check that. So yeah, let's be honest, there was partially that. It was kind of this. But Dwayne's got it wrong two ways. I thought tactically, and I'll talk about it in a minute. I thought tactically fine, but it was just the bench, and by the end, particularly, I thought Matthias, when by the time he got to post 65 minutes, he started struggling a little bit, and I was like, it's time to get him off now. It's time to get Sam O'Connor on.
Cuxon was available.
Yeah, that just makes things even more weird. I'm assuming you've still got the list in front of you?
Yep, so we were missing Plumtree, Murray, Nicholas, Hughes, Hepburn, Tristan Davis, Jack Price, Yohan Jones, Will Evans. I do not know this last name on this list. Dom Kossuth?
Tom Kossuth.
Kossuth.
Yeah, to be fair, I call out other teams for this, so I need to call out the Scarlets for it to be consistent. Padding out your injury list with academy players is not okay. Please stop doing it.
To be fair, he has he has been within a travelling reserve. He has been within the 30 on a match day. I do have to give that. It was for a match that was postponed, mind, but
Also,
I'll slowly allow it.
with these unavailable lists, like I get it for like fans of the club who want to know like, oh, are the players okay? Who's fit and available and stuff. But I just think in if they're included in media reports, then it needs to be titled the excuses list. That's all. That's what I want. It just needs to be called the excuses list. When it gets put out by journalists who go, oh, look how many injuries they've got. It's the excuses list.
On another thing, just talking about that match again, I don't know what the two of you thought about the line out, but I think that's the worst the lineouts probably performed. I don't actually think it was much to do with us. I thought Bristol did a really, really good job of coming at it. Although I think more than half of the lineouts went to Max Douglas. I know, like, he's obviously a very massive number six who can play lock, so it's clear that it's probably going to go to him. But
No,
I
no
thought it was very
Fafita,
easy
no
to read.
Tane. We've lost our two. Like obviously, Fafita's left the club and Tane was injured. That's our two best line out jumpers.
Yeah, it just felt like it was very easy for them to just track along with Douglas and jump up with him.
Mm.
Yeah,
And we rely so much on that launch pad that it was that's why I think we really struggled to get good attacking plays going, really, because that
yeah.
was taken away.
It was. We seem to do the same sort of movements as well, which didn't help. You could see if you watch it back and feel the line out, you can. I think it's Lousy the stand in its second, and then
Lousy
you
had a
can
good
just
game,
see,
I thought, by the
yeah,
way.
You had a very good game, yeah.
you can see Lousy and Douglas swap positions as Douglas is coming to the front before he goes for the jump, and you're just watching it, and it's like I've never jumped, like not since I was like 13, when jumping is not really, you're not getting that high with your lifters at that age anyway. I've always been a lifter, but it's so easy to see where they're going, which is a shame. Now, obviously, credit to Bristol, they did manage to get in, they did disrupt, but the lineups that they didn't, I mean, it still weren't clicking as such, and I thought that we might have seen a bit of change when Marnus came on. I thought something might have, we've seen these issues. Go on now, have a chat with the boys. Go get it sorted. But it was more the same. So that was a disappointment for me that there wasn't a change when we started bringing on Marnus and obviously Henry, etc. Because we knew by the time Henry came on that the lineup was a little bit questionable at that point.
I mean, to change it up, I guess another player who played well, Josh McLeod, is just excellent. We're a different team with and without him. Um, you guys are going to have to do the Sam Costello hype train this week because there's nothing that I can say that I haven't already said, other than he was once again majestic in this game, and everything good that we did in attack was because of him.
How I don't understand how anyone can not watch Sam Costello and not like him, not like the way he plays. He he's a general, and I know we've said that word many times, but the way he orchestrates everyone around him, he puts everyone into the right position to get things flowing. Now, obviously, if we remove those disallowed tries, 100% from the kicking tee, well, hey, it's always a good stat to have to your name, especially being in Wales. I don't know what he has to do anymore. I mean, the little, offload in the tackle to Fletcher. Yeah, I don't think you've got the angle to see whether or not it comes forward out of the hand or if it's forward through momentum. That's obviously for a different camera angle and a different person to decide. But he does everything and he does everything well, which is so annoying when you see it be so underappreciated. You see it with the certain players in certain positions. You've seen over time. There's always X amount of players that don't get their cap, or they only have, single digits because they're just not liked, or somebody just chooses not to select them for whatever reason. I'm trying to remember the name of the prop. It's really, really bugging me now. He was behind Yes and Thomas. John Yap is the one that stole all his caps. I can't remember his name now, but I remember John Yap used to get loads of caps, and he's like, no, much better looser than him. Oh, I'm gonna have to go back through the years now and try and figure it out. But yeah,
But the variety to his game, like when he gets the ball, you genuinely don't know what he's going to do. He can do a short pass, long pass, floated pass, kick pass, or run, step, line break. John, he can do it all.
I think if the Tom Rogers try, I think it was the first of the disallowed tries.
Yeah.
If that had stood, we would be watching that on repeat because he has two kick passes to his separate wings, doesn't he? He has the first one to me, which looks like it's not on. It looks like there's no space there, or it looks like why has he chosen it? And then he just runs straight onto the ball, gets it, it's beautiful. And then I think they just stay on that side of the field, if I on that side of the pitch, if I remember right. And then suddenly another pinpoint crossfield kick. Like it's great. So I think just in one passage of play, you can see one aspect of his game really nicely there. Later on, I think it's at the beginning of the second half where there's the break of from Eddie James. He's sending players right and left in that and controlling space. Again, it's really really nice. There's a reason there's space for me to run into after he gets the offload.
Even for Gareth Davis's try, if you watch, Sam Costello runs round to the blind side and takes a defender away, leaving Gareth Davis one-on-one. Like
Yeah.
I'm not exaggerating. Everything good that we good in attack came through Sam Costello, and it stopped when he went off.
But the thing is, when he runs that line, he's not only taking away that defender, he's also giving an option to Gareth Davis. That's the important thing as well. So like he is always a hands up credible option in attack. When you're close to the 5 meter inside the 22, like he runs that really really well as well.
I've no idea how Bristol's fly half got player of the game in this one.
I genuinely think it's because he was bleeding so much. I think they were just like, oh yeah, well, I'm pretty sure the medal has like a small amount of iron in it, so maybe we can give that on and give that him to suck, and that'll help. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen that much blood on a televised game. Like that was something else. But yeah, he didn't really do an insane amount. If Rata hadn't had the yellow card, it probably would have gone to him.
I guess. Oh, sorry, Mark, you go.
I weren't going to say anything. I was probably going to say Mata probably deserved it even with the yellow card if we're going with the whole premise that the winning side has to have the man of the match.
I thought Ravovo. I would have gone Ravovo if you have to go that way, because I thought that his X factor is behind the back pass from Mata's second try was the difference between the teams, ultimately. If he's not on the pitch, Bristol don't win that game.
Yeah, no doubt about it.
Speaking of, I thought that now the stats say the opposite to this, so I'm going to have to get you two to tell me if I'm right or wrong. Obviously, being the completely unbiased, objective personalities that you are. The stats say that Lewis Rees-Zammit was amazing in this game. I felt that both Ellis Mee and Tommy Rodge both outplayed him.
Yeah, I thought Lewis Rees-Zammit was probably of the four wingers is probably the I don't want to say the poorest because he weren't particularly poor, but if you rank them 1 to 4, he's coming in fourth.
I agree.
I think it depends on what you're looking from your individual wingers there. He almost played more like an inside center at times because he was breaking first tackles, but they were using him a lot more in midfield. I think that's why he shows up a bit higher on stats. He breaks a few more. He broke pretty much every first tackle, and he made short gains. The try was kind of hilarious, but 5 points is 5 points. You can't knock him for it. He was in the right place at the right time, even if the pass to him wasn't great.
Yeah. I want to just bring up Ellis Mee as well. He's someone I've criticised a bit on this pod, especially in the air, and I said that I wanted to see Tommy Lewis get a game, and we were saying in the group chat a little bit, I feel a bit sorry for Tommy Lewis not to get selected for this one. Well, Ellis Mee has completely rammed it down my throat. That was his best performance of the season by far. 80 minutes, 83 meters, which is the most of any Scarlets player, 9 carries, 4 defenders beaten. 3 line breaks, most of any Scarlets player, 2 tackles. He's a winger, they don't make many tackles. 1 a turnover, 0 penalties conceded, and not a disallowed try because the disallowed try went to Tommy Lewis and to Jack Davis. And I cheered that Jack Davis try very loudly, and I was very sad when it
Yeah,
was chalked off.
yeah, you weren't the only one. I was loving seeing Jack get a try because we've spoken about back three players quite a lot over the last couple of years. I mean, I think we're going back 2 years, 2 seasons then for calling for Tommy Lewis to finally, like, I think I remember it being before the season even starts when he just came back from Jersey Reds. I was begging to see him get a
Oh
chance
yeah,
in
I
a
remember
jersey.
you were on the pod. You were saying like, "Can we give this guy a game, please?" But yeah, no, I agree with you. Lewis Rusame, I agree with you. I don't think he had a particularly poor game, but I think out of the 4 wingers, he was fourth. Um, do you think with Jack Davis, I think he needs to work on his tactical kicking a bit. There were a couple which just went straight to Tom Jordan, but I'm not going to
Yeah,
hammer him because it's not like he's long in the tooth at this level. I think as we've agreed, I think he's clearly ahead of Johan Nicholas now in the squad,
has to be.
and it's not a comment on Jack Davis's game because I thought he was solid. I don't think he was a problem at all. I don't think he caused any problems. I do think that in a game like this against this particular opposition, having Blair Murray's X factor might have helped us a bit. That might have got us the points that we needed to win the match.
Yeah, but you can argue again that we go back to the Max Page as our fourth center slash wing option is having that extra person with X factor on the bench would have probably helped get us over the line. I do agree with your point on Jack's kicking. It is something it'll come to experience because if you do watch Super Rugby come here, you will see that you can feel kicks like that, and they not be much of an issue from majority of teams. You're literally talking only 3, maybe 4 teams, and obviously he's involved in one of them that will come back and possibly bite you. So that is something that he will learn as he keeps getting more game time. So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
What were
fun.
you going to say,
but
John? You came off mute.
well, no, just two other factors on Jack Davis. I thought he did generally play a little bit better in the Glasgow game. I thought his kicking was better in the Glasgow game. So I don't. I think the yeah, it wasn't as solid today, but also or today on in against Bristol. But the other factor would be Tom Jordan is quite a good fullback, and so I think he's able to interpret a lot of. Or he was definitely able to control his back three a little bit. I can't remember who was playing. Was it? I can't remember who was playing at 15 for Glasgow 2 weeks ago. But I just thought he
Maybe.
managed the back, even though their kicking from hand was actually didn't seem that great. Their positioning seemed a little bit better.
Oh,
But
fair enough.
Fair, very fair.
Also for you, John, Fletcher Anderson continues to be very, very good. To be fair, I'm a little bit worried now at this point of how we're able to pluck players from obscurity from the NPC and they come in and be our best players in Tane and Archer and Blair Murray. Is the NPC really that good? Is the talent ID in New Zealand rubbish? What's going on about that? But 16 carries, which is the top for the Scarlets, 67 meters top for any forwards, 6 defenders beaten, which is the most by any Scarlets, and joint second for tackles. Good player.
he is a good player. One thing, okay, so generally echoing everything else you said there, like his performance generally was really, really strong. At the moment, as in the last 2 games, he's given us more go forward than any other forward. I'm really looking forward to Tane coming back because I think Tane will probably move into a starting position, and I think the idea of Fletcher Anderson coming off the bench could be really, really tasty in a final 20, 30 minutes.
Oh, I'd keep Fletcher at 8 and put Tane at 6.
Um, I think that's too much of one thing. I really like I would
Max
rather
Douglas.
have Douglas or Jared Taylor at 6.
What do you
What
say,
do you
Matt?
think?
I'm thinking when we talked, I think it was probably early last season and the season before, we were talking about the balance in that back row, and we spoke that you could only have one of Tane or Via, and then you have Josh, and then just a tackling machine. Someone like obviously it was Carwin Tuapolotu at the time. But,
But I think
I'm
Tane can be a tackling machine.
no, I'm thinking Fletcher be the tackling machine, and Tane just be allowed to do Tane things. Let him focus on his brilliance, his individuality. Like obviously, I have bringing Fletcher on, say 45, 50 minutes to just break down some walls. Bring him on same time as Johnny Williams. Have them both do it. That'd be awesome. But I do like the idea of Tane having two other back rowers to really take care of all the dog work, because obviously Tane, he has more X factor than anyone. He can do things. Freeing him up to do that is what we should be aiming to do. And having Josh and Fletcher in the same back row as him, I I think that's that brings that option into light. It makes it a real possibility, and I'd like to see that. But like I said, having him and having Fletch and Johnny Williams come on off the bench at around 50 minutes, I think that could be devastating for us as well. So it's a nice headache, and it's a good way to rotate and plan your squads.
When are we expecting Tane back? Because he's got a rib injury, correct?
Uh, we haven't been told this long term or medium term. We were just told he was unavailable, same as Blair. We just told he was unavailable for this game. Um, I'm under the impression
Did
that
he run with scissors?
I'm under the impression that we were never gonna send a full strength 15 or 23 to Bordeaux. So possibly see him on the bench, maybe or not. I'm not sure. I just know that the
What is a rotated 23 for us, though? Because if it's not just sending the Drovers, then it's pretty much the same team.
well, we got some academy boys we can use. I mean, you're switching players out from starting to the bench or into the traveling reserve
Don't
position.
steal chat from the end of the podcast when we do the Bordeaux preview. We'll come back to this.
Don't ask me the question then.
Oh,
Come
I'm sorry.
on.
No, it's my fault, Mark. I'm sorry. Um, one thing we got to talk about. We have to talk about, like I said, the game lasting over 2 hours, the refereeing, and for me, it's not the decisions being wrong. It's just how long it took them to get to the decisions. So I'm gonna bring up an example here. Let me know if you can see the screen, guys. Can you see this video?
Mhm.
Is it moving for you?
It is moving.
Okay, so this is for the disallowed one of the tries. I can't remember. I think Jack Davis's try. So
Yeah.
between so for those listening along, the pass has just been thrown. We're watching it on double speed, right? So we're 19 seconds in. We're on something like the fifth ruck now after that's happened. So
Yeah, it's like
something that
8.9,
a
I
lot of
think.
people asked is surely you can't go back beyond 5 rucks. They've now changed that rule, but everybody hates it. But you can go back as far as you like now. So they're still going. So the try's just been scored, okay? We're watching this on double speed. 40 seconds into the clip, there is still a 1 minute 53 to go of this clip. And we're watching it on double speed. And this clip ends when play restarts, okay? And there
It,
was 3 incidents like this in the first half.
it's worth saying that for this try as well, or this disallowed try, and everything involved in it, Mata is in the sin bin. So this is all time that eventually essentially gets chalked off. That's time running down on the yellow card as well.
That's half his time
Yeah.
in the bin
So
gone from this.
the conversion's been taken. So the referee's just blown his whistle now. So we're on 1 minute 18 into watching this clip at double speed. The clip started when the pass was thrown. So in real terms, we're over 2 minutes since the pass was thrown. Now they're TMOing it. And there's still a minute left on this. So he's called there. He's now decided that it was a forward pass. We've still got a minute to go until the game restarts.
Where's the delay here?
Because it's a scrum.
Just resetting the scrum or
Resetting
setting
the
the scrum.
scrum, and the
Mata is
scrum
on.
goes down, and they have to
Mm.
reset it as well. And this was, like I said, this kind of thing happened 3 times in the first half. And if you tally it up, you are getting beyond 15 minutes of the match. When you bear in mind that we had an 8-9 minute delay for Archer Holtz as well. You're talking 15 minutes plus in the match that was just waiting for the referee to make a decision. And I'm going to be honest, for the vast majority of them, they weren't hard decisions to make. Like, and for the one that I was showing you before, the Tom Jordan pass to Ravovo, the Bristol try that got ruled out. That there was replays of that pass shown 3 times on the TV before it was actually before the TMO even started the check. It's just not good enough, lads.
The thing is, as well, they were. I'm okay. I'm not 100% certain there's enough clear footage to overturn that Jack Davis try based on the angles that were available for that. I personally do think it was forward, but I'm not sure you can overturn it. In play, in open play, I thought that's forward, and I thought we'd gotten away with it at that point. The Tom Jordan to Ravovo one, the exact same. You could call it as soon as you saw it that it was forward.
I mean, going off what the TMOs are supposed to be looking at, it needs to be a clear and obvious mistake. Like you just said, someone's going into contact and the ball is being offloaded out like that. You know, how can you say his arm wasn't outstretched and that ball is, going forward from momentum? That you need a better angle than that to say it is clear and obvious. Same as with the other try that was disallowed. I'm slightly aggrieved, but obviously the call is the call. You got to deal with it no matter
And
what.
the thing
I
with
don't understand how
the
you can call them clear. It needs to be clear and obvious. I don't think either of them are clear and obvious 100% every single time. Every single person will say that's 100% a knock on or a forward pass.
the thing with like the forward pass calls is that he was calling other forward passes that were very marginal in real time. And like if you look at
Yeah.
there was one of the Bill Matter yellow card. If you go back and watch it, the referee is stood right there staring right at it when it happens in real time, doesn't call anything. And I think that one, between the incident happening, between the head contact and the game actually restarting, it's nearly 5.5 minutes. It's ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, one of the issues with that was the TMO, if anything, probably had too many angles to look at and consider for that one. Trying to find a wrap for a very, very long time. It felt fairly open and shut once you saw the angle where he had his left arm tucked down to his side. Um, I don't really understand why they had to look at it in that much more detail after that point, but I think it went on for about another minute after they'd found that angle, maybe longer. Um, yeah, it's difficult because outside of these decisions, and I know that's okay, maybe a bit of a large net to cast, yeah, but outside of these decisions, I actually thought the officiating was pretty good in some decisions. I mean, it's a very easy point to score, but calling Kieran Marmion out for holding the ball in the ruck after the use it call for
Yeah.
5 seconds, you never see that called. Everyone cheered, probably some Bristol fans as well, because it's just nice to hear that actually get called. Um, the two back to back no non straight throws in the lineout were fair. I think they were both crooked, and so I think part of this comes down to maybe more of an issue with the TMO than the referee himself.
I can see that. My issue is not that the decisions were wrong, it's just how long it took to give it, and it completely killed the game. And this is for us watching it on TV where we've got the benefit of knowing what's going on. Like being in the ground for that. You're not rushing to come back, are you?
Well, it depends. If you're going to buy the ref radio that they've got on sale for £12, if you're buying that,
Oh yeah.
then obviously you know exactly what's going on.
You get to keep it for the whole season.
I know, one time buy. Don't
Yeah,
have to keep buying it every single match. Nice
exactly.
investment. Really good investment.
Mm.
A
Ugh.
positive note while talking about the referee, discipline was pretty good this game.
It seemed right, yeah.
Yeah, it seemed okay. I don't remember
I'm
it being
trying to.
significant. No
We were
cards.
sub 10 penalties. I'm pretty sure.
Tane wasn't playing.
That does.
Hey, don't. No. We've had the Defence League was a few weeks ago. Stop it.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
Where can I find it here? It was 8 penalties conceded.
That's bloody good for us.
It's
Yeah.
one of those things where you only really comment on discipline when it's noticeably terrible.
Yeah.
This was, I mean, apart from, I think Bordeaux had something ridiculous. Like
Bordeaux had 4.
that just doesn't happen. That just doesn't happen. Anyway, I just really wanted to point it out because I thought that was impressive considering the amount of scrum penalties that happened in the game.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I think we've covered everything from this. Or does someone have anything else to chime in on?
I think so. We covered bench, we've covered selection, we've covered star players, we covered referee. Yeah, all of it. I think that's it. Oh, right. Okay. Do we now? Sorry, Mark, you're driving. Shall I let you say what the next thing on the agenda is?
The next thing on Huw's agenda is updates from supporters evening.
Do you have any? Because I can only remember what Benji told us in the chat.
Yeah, by just give it time. We're not going anywhere. That's basically it. That's all you need.
The noises coming out is that there's now the Scarlets have been complacent before, so I'm not saying we're home and hosed, but
I am.
they apparently the likes of John Daniel, Simon Mudarak were a lot more positive than they have been recently, and yeah, they're just the noises are that they're confident, I think is the word I'm going to use.
vibes are good. Vibes
Good
feel good.
vibes.
Yeah. And not just in like just listening to and consuming like some other media from around Welsh rugby in general. Vibes are good. I don't think people can say much more than that, but like
We're like we're not far off being Cardiff level confident of surviving. I think that's generally what has come out.
I think it's very frustrating because a lot of people just have hearsay to go on. But it's hard to give anything more than that at the moment, really, isn't it?
I mean, you can't really say anything because there's a lot of processes going on, but I think the WIU have said they want to announce something this month. So, I mean, for that to happen, I'm pretty sure everyone can put two and two together and figure out what would need to happen for that to be the case. So, obviously, devastating news for one set of fans, and the wrong news uh, for us to hear, for all of us to hear. Actually, it's not the way we should be moving, but that's not our choice. And the people that could do something about it, they've had their AGM now, and they're happy that they're apparently getting a better piece of the pie. So they're happy with their own self interests, and that's not to have a go at anyone in particular. It's just the way it seems to be, or the way it's presented at the minute. Anything else to add on to that?
Not really.
Sad.
That's just the vibes that we're picking up from other people at the moment.
Yeah. I'm very sad about the whole thing, to be honest with you. But yeah.
So, can we move on to the best part of the pod?
Yeah.
Bring a smile to our face.
Best part of the pod. It is the community section. And in my absence last week, I do have to thank Huw for missing about 90% of the games from this past weekend. So thank you so much for chiming in.
They were blank.
They didn't have a score.
Yeah.
No score. No score. Game this weekend.
Oh, right. Okay. That would have been really long and dull.
It would not have. It was Cup Week. Cup Week's amazing. And actually, due to the weather this past weekend, it's now Cup Week again. Awesome. Okay, start off in Super Rugby Cymru, and Quins had 367 academy players in the 23, but they did nothing because the pitch was unusable. So Carmarthen Quins against Bridgend has been postponed. Most likely play last Saturday in January now. So wait for official confirmation on that. Llandyfri on their nice plastic pitch did manage to get a game, and it was not looking good at half time. I think it was 19-5 down to Newport. Gabe Hawley, T and Sparrow starting with Josh Morse and Kai Jones on the bench. A massive second half comeback, 22-19 win for the Drovers, just the 4 points. But it'll do, and it keeps them in second, and it keeps them well clear in second. I believe that's now 14 points ahead of third place Carmarthen Quins. So there's quite a gap between first and second and the rest. Fixtures for this week. So Thursday night live, S4C, click YouTube, however you view it. So 7:30 Thursday night, we get to see the return fixture of Carmarthen Quins against Cardiff. Quins won this earlier in the season. Another game covered live by S4C. I think it was 36-33 that game finished. So that's one not to be missed. And on Saturday, Llandovery travel to face Swansea. Ooh. Down in the Premiership, Llangennech 26-14 winners at home against Brecon. Good result there. And in a valiant losing effort, Llanelli Wanderers going down 29-23 at the Knoll against Neath. That's a really
not
good
bad.
result. That's
So
really
where are the Wanderers
impressive.
in the league now?
They still languishing in the bottom half, quite low from my last look, but I can't be guaranteed on what number they are. So, yeah, I'll try and pick that up in a few weeks' time, boys. But that is a foreshadowing of the Premiership semi-final, which is going to be tasty. Really going to be tasty. Narberth's game away to Newbridge was postponed. Fixtures this week: Narberth against Llangennech, and Llanelli Wanderers travelling to Newbridge. Ooh. Championship West, the league games were postponed. Aberystwyth away to Tondi and Crymych away to Dunvant. Fixtures for this week: Aberystwyth are hosting Tartar Steel, Ammanford hosting Gassina, Newcastle Emlyn travelling to Bonamine, Crymych travelling to Glynig. In the Championship Cup, Ammanford winning 21-20 at home to Trebanas, and Newcastle Emlyn with a try in the last play of the game, winning 20 points to 16 away to Glamorgan Wanderers. Now that is a result based on their respective positions in the leagues. There's no way Newcastle Emlyn should have won this game, but they have the heart, they have the grit, and they're going to do this. They really are. Another visit to the final is looking so close, but just one semi-final to get through first, and let's hope it's not against Bedwas. Division 1 West, all games postponed. Fixtures for this Saturday: Buryport at home to Lampeter, Kidwelly travel to Hendy, Larne travel to St Clears, Wellingborough travel to Swansea Uplands, and Tenby host Wanalive. 2 West, 2 games postponed. The one played to Christ, winning 50 points to 5 against Whitland. Fixtures for this week: we got Betos at home to Whitland, Nantgaredig travelling to Carmarthen Athletic, and a fixture we don't really care about with, foreign teams, further down. 2 West Central, Burnham's game against South Gower was postponed. They face Brinkethin at home this weekend. Division 3 West, just the one game survived. Haverford West 46, Trimsaran 22. Fixtures this weekend: Cardigan hosting Trimsaran and Narberth travelling to Neyland. In 4 West A, Pembroke Dock Harlequins won 26-24 at home to Llangam. St David's, Crymych Tairu postponed. Fixtures this week: Newcastle Emlyn Dreigiau at home to Pontyberem, St David's travel to Llangam, Llanybudr at home to Pembroke Dock Quins. Oh, a bit of a cough there. Pembroke at home to Tenby Athletic. 4 West B, Binya 60, Tregaron 15. Binya doing well this year. Fair play to them. Llandibby Furnace were postponed. Fixtures this week: Kevin Nathan at home to Binya, Fall Bay at home to Llandibby, and Furnace travel to Pennybank. Now, into those beautiful cup fixtures that I was discussing earlier. Division 1 Cup games. So Hendy lost 13-19 at home to Aberafon Green Stars. Lampeter lost 52-33 away to Penarth. And Tenby winning 16-10 at home to Beslinog. Tenby are now our sole survivors in Division 1 Cup. 2 Cup, all of our games are postponed. So Fishguard against Aberafon Quins and Aberaeron travelling to Newport Saris will happen this Saturday. Exactly the same in Division 3 Cup, all were postponed. So we go again: Llandailo away to Caerleon, Tumble away to Meister Celtic, New Dock Stars, Huw's New Dock Stars get to host Tonna, and Neyland travel to Ricos. A few fixtures in the Division 4 Cup managed to go ahead. Llangarog winning 33-6 against Newcastle Emlyn Dreigiau. Pontyberem winning 34-16 at home to Tylerstown. Coincidentally, both teams' youth sides faced each other in one of the WIU knockout competitions in the reverse fixture. So I'd have to have a quick look to see how that game got off. Tenby Athletic winning 29-12 at home to Maesteg. So the first attempt at a replay game. Pantavannan travelling to Bonamine Athletic. Pontiacs hosting Treharris. And Pennebank travelling to Tonrevel. Into the women's game, nice and quick. So a cup week for them as well. So a couple of fixtures didn't go ahead. But what we do have in the WIU plate, if I can get over right, there we go. Haverfordwest went down 48-7 away to Carnarvon. Whitland losing on the away team rule, 12-all against Club Rugby Company Caerdydd. Down into the WIU Bowl to Croyce away to Llanidloes. 17-all at the full-time whistle, tied on everything, but Llanidloes again a 7-point win in 24-17 after extra time. Fixtures for this week back in the WIU Cup quarter-final stage. Buryport hosting Anderson Bull and Lampeter travelling to Annecy. WIU Bowl round 2, Pembroke are travelling to Blackwood. I don't understand why that's Blackwald. That's a funny one. Newcastle Emlyn are hosting Pennygraig. And
Johnny Harris is Newcastle Emlyn, we should say.
Oh yes, it's always the same. Ooh, I'll talk about that off air. I haven't got all the details with me right now. But in the championship, a nice league fixture, Haverfordwest hosting Whitland. And you mentioned it last week, Clefley have made the Dewar Shield final against Pontypridd. It is happening this Thursday, the 11th, at the Milan Principality, 7:30 kickoff, I believe. Might be 7, who knows. It does clash with Quins and Cardiff, which is really annoying for me. I'm really hoping that it is on YouTube or some form of WIU TV. Absolutely massive for Clefley. This is, a repeat of the 2018 final where Pontypridd won. Clefley haven't won this competition in over 50 years, 1969. This would be absolutely amazing if Clefley managed to do it.
Crazy.
And
send
that is
in all goodwill.
Oh, yes. Come on, Llanelli. We don't get to say that very often. We want Llanelli to win. It's nice to be able to say that on this pod for the first time in 2.5 years, something like that. It seems ridiculous since the RFC was destroyed. But at least that stupid Three Feathers is gone. Well. Okay. On to the next part of... Oh.
We just need to... Breaking news is that Scarlets legend Hadley Parkes announced his retirement today.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
So we need to do our favourite Hadley Parkes moment.
Every single time he went into contact and spun out of it. Love spinning out of tackles. Absolutely love it. And he was a master at it.
Can I take the was it Gareth Anscombe chip over the top at the end of the 2019 Six Nations in the game where they should have nilled Ireland, but Ireland got a converted try right at the very end?
Yeah.
It was the Grand Slam sealing game. I was in a pub in Dublin, the only Welsh person in the entire pub. It was great.
I want to say that he scored a try against, it was either Toulon or La Rochelle in our Champions Cup run. But honestly, I can't think of
Toulon, I would have thought, because La Rochelle, I'm pretty sure, was Rhys Patchell and... who was it? I think it might have been DT. No, I don't know. Carry on.
Or I could pick the fact that in the 2017 Pro 12 final, when the Scarlets won the title playing the greatest brand of rugby that the club game has ever seen before or since, with a historic victory, the largest winning margin at the time ever over Razzie Erasmus's Munster team in Dublin in 2017, is that I believe that game finished with Hadley Parkes playing 10.
Most likely.
Because we were taking Rhys Patchell off and we didn't have a 10 on the bench. But it was never fully disclosed what the plan actually was. So everyone just kind of guessed that it must have been Hadley Parkes playing 10. Because do you remember when we had Dinky Jones in the team and Wayne Pivac dropped him and played Hadley Parkes at 10 for that one game and it did not work?
I'm pretty sure it was more than one game. But,
yeah, it was like 2 or 3 games, no?
Yeah, I always felt bad for Dinky. I thought he was a really solid, dependable player, and one that we could do with pretty much right now. Given
I think he's still doing
the
job for Ealing at the moment.
Over at Ealing, is he?
Mm.
That's nice.
I
Well,
thought he was in Pro Day. Was he
Think
not?
he? No, he's at Ealing. I'm pretty sure.
Who went to
talking
Pro
about
Day?
championship teams, I clocked Morgan Jones playing for Doncaster Knights. That was a fun one to come across. But yeah, here we go. Hadley, he's a legend, and he spent so little time years, and what he did was just wow. You know, we're talking, like you said earlier, about the scouting system in New Zealand or whatever it is, but they're missing some absolute amazing players.
Well, it's not just us. You could say like maybe not James Lowe. I can understand how he would never be an All Black, but James Gibson Park. How did
Yeah,
they let him go?
he was taken as a kid, though, wasn't he? You've got to think he was in that 2017 semi final, and weren't all that great then.
Um, Dan Jones still plays for Ealing. He has scored 71 points in 8 matches so far this season.
That's probably below what he'd like. He likes to average 10 points a game over there, man. It's nice, easy run out in our league where half of them are semi-pro, and he gets to be still playing his full game of pro. But yeah, it's an interesting league to be honest. It's now covered totally free. I want to say it's Clubber TV, if that's what it's called. I could be wrong on that, but you can watch every single championship game live.
Hmm.
So that's fun. And obviously that league is kind of expanding, kind of getting a massive freshen up with whatever the plans are for that and the Premiership going forward. It's funny. But anyone can, submit an expression of interest to join the championship for, I think it's next season or the season after. So, if you are a team that's going to be without a league or a home anytime soon, and you've got owners that don't want to throw you to the dogs, might be worth having a look at that. Bit of fun.
Anyway,
Anyway,
Anyway, you
Bordeaux.
said you saw Morgan Jones playing.
Yeah, Doncaster Knights.
Well, you know who we played against in 2022 for us.
Everyone.
Well, he played against Bordeaux. Was my point. He played in the
ah,
Bordeaux game. Yeah,
there you go. Look at that,
I
slick.
went and watched the highlights back this morning, and
So
defense
is
really was optional that year.
I have no memory of this whatsoever. You're going to have to tell me what happened.
Just imagine seeing lots of players in the Oil for Wales kit era with the 3 feathers on the chest just falling down, and that's kind of what it looked like. It
was
was
was it kind of like watching, like under 10s or under 11s where everyone just chases after the ball and then nothing happens?
yes, but they all had food poisoning before the game.
Oh, I remember that
That's
one.
sort of that's what it looked like. I mean, on paper, the squad looks really, really good, and then you go back and watch it, and yeah,
Okay, who scored looked really, really good. I need to clarify that.
who scored in the game? You're asking,
No,
or
whose squad looked good?
who scored? Oh, our squad looked really good on paper.
Come on, read it out.
Samson Lee, Ryan Elias, Wyn Jones,
Nice.
Lousy, Morgan Jones, Lizana, Kalamafoni.
Lizana, that was a weird one,
Lozana,
wasn't it?
wow.
One of the few games. Aaron Shingler, Cordor, Sammy started. Patch
There
came
you
off the
go.
bench for this one.
Well,
And he came off at a reasonable time as well. It was like 45. I've got it here actually. It was 45 minutes he came off.
Hmm.
reasonable time.
Yeah. Actually, all of the subs were very reasonable. I think this benchitis that
Okay,
Dwayne has is a new phenomenon, looking back on it relatively.
it's something he's developed over the last couple of years, because last season it was a major issue as well. So is
Yeah.
this 21-22 or 22-23? No,
22,
21-22.
21. Sorry, 21, 22. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Mhm.
Sammy was, that was his first season with us.
Yeah, it would have
Yeah.
been.
And the match before, or was it before or after Bordeaux? We also played Bristol in that. And that was the game that
So
Ioan
this was
Lloyd,
the Jan
peace upon his house, absolutely carved us open and got a contract
at 12, was it? Was he
at
playing 12
12.
that
Yeah.
day?
He was
Yeah,
playing
because
12, yeah.
Sheedy was 10.
Well,
Wow.
Yeah.
Now look
so
at
who
him.
was the centres on that day? Who would have been Foxy at
Foxy.
12?
No. No, Foxy didn't play 12 for us, did he, at that point?
Not at
Yeah.
that point,
But he
no.
was only for
They
Wales.
finished up as 12 for sure.
He wasn't finished at this point though. He was on 13, and
Okay.
Scott Williams was in at 12.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
last
and he's
season
come
for him.
back, wasn't
Yeah, and then Steph Evs, McNichol, and Williams. Liam Williams had a bit of a howler of a game.
Kind of had a
Yeah, you're
howl of
right.
a
That is a
second
decent
spell.
team.
Yeah, well, this is one of like how many games did he play when he came back in the second spell?
Less than he did for Wales.
Yeah, this is like about 10 minutes in, he jumps like literally. He jumps offside behind the ruck and picks up a ball that isn't out and immediately gets carded, and yeah, that kind of sets the tone for the whole game.
I
But
think he played something like 6 club games in 3 years, or something stupid like that.
I think we looked
Between
at it
us
and
and
it was
Cardiff.
bad.
mm,
Ah, well. Enough of that. So should we move on to the actual current times, Bordeaux?
I mean, if you want, I'm going to be there.
Yay, who's going to be there? He finally got his missus to agree to let him go to watch his beloved Bordeaux.
She's coming with him, with me.
Exactly, that's why she's allowed it.
wine trip.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to
it is
spend a
worth a
lot
visit.
of money in the Le Club boutique
That's a French word for something.
shop.
Ah, shop. Yeah.
And
Different
boutique,
language.
what does that mean?
Boutique means shop.
Oh no, so it means the shop. No sense.
No,
Crazy
the club
language.
is just the club.
I refuse to believe that. Sorry.
So I'm gonna be in the boutique and I'm gonna spend lots of money. Apparently don't go to the one in the stadium. Go to the one in town. So I'm gonna do that. And
But
Why?
then
by the one in town, they mean there's a man with a large coat
no,
who
apparently
stands in
it's a big shop. No, Bordeaux is the most attended rugby club in the world. Average 32,000 fans.
God, not in the not in the 21-22 season. The stadium was empty looking back. It's changed so much for them. Like yeah,
They got
Money.
good,
they did.
and also the football team tanked. So everyone stopped going to watch the football and went to watch the rugby team instead. Bordeaux,
Fair
good.
weather fans. So, but what side are they likely to put out? Obviously, they're French. They're at home, so close to full strength.
Apparently
or...
they're going to rest a couple. It's not going to be full strength, but I'm here to tell you that their not full strength team is still pretty good. They're not in amazing form. I wouldn't put it past us to get 4 tries,
I think if we hold them to a good result, would be holding them to like 30 points. Looking back on previous results that they've had in the last few weeks, what's the defense like?
Even when they won the title last season, they let Ulster score like 35 points against them. It's just that they were scoring 60. So I wouldn't be surprised if we get a try bonus point. And if we do get a try bonus point away to Bordeaux, I expect all of the press to run with front page headlines about how we've restored pride to Welsh rugby. Like you
Seems
do for
very
everybody
likely.
else.
I feel generally pretty positive about the defensive system that we've got in place at the moment. And I thought of all the things that could have gone better on the weekend against Bristol, I thought it actually went fairly well. Obviously went really well against Glasgow. How realistic is it, do you think, you can hold Bordeaux to maybe only 5 tries?
Depends on the team you put out.
We put
So
out or they put out?
what team are we expecting the Scarlets to put out then?
I don't know. I've just been told that we're going to be focusing on our derby games in the URC, and obviously the home game against Bristol was a big one. It's our return to the Champions Cup, so some boys not to be risked. I mean, I can see Joe Hawkins starting at 10. I really can.
Max
That'd
Page,
be
come on down.
yeah. I mean,
Johnny Williams, Max Page sends a partnership with Joe Hawkins in front of them. Wow.
Maybe
that's sexy.
Tommy Lewis and Ellis Mee. Is
Yeah.
Mee all right? He looked like he did his wrist at one point.
Oh, he did hit his wrist.
Yeah.
It looked nasty after that, but he played on.
Yeah, he sort of shook it off. Like,
Yeah.
hopefully that's all it was.
And
Yeah.
well, unless it was going to be Jared Taylor coming on for him, because there was no one else available to cover at that point. But yeah,
To be fair, Jared Taylor does have wheels, so I wouldn't count against him being able to hold his own on the wing.
I mean, he
Yeah,
does
yeah,
play
he does.
edge, so
Yeah.
you know,
Um,
Yeah, it's hard to say. You just basically reversing the props. Obviously, we expecting Harry O'Connor to come in now for Archer Holt. Whether that's it's probably not going to be straight starting, so Henry will
mm,
continue. But there, Marnus and Elias, they tend to rotate anyway. If they were to give maybe Elias a week off, maybe having Harry Thomas on the bench, that'd be nice. I wouldn't be against that.
mm,
so Man is starting Harry on the bench,
Wouldn't
and
be
yeah,
against it. Again, I could be totally wrong, and we put out the best 23 we possibly can now. But
I'd like us to. That'd be cool because I'm going to watch them, and I'd like it. I'd like us to play well.
I've heard, what is it? Josh Morse, Isaac Young, and Gabe Hawley. I've heard that's our front row because Hugh's going to France. Although that's not a bad front row to go against, mind. That's a very powerful
Bordeaux
young
aren't
front row
known
to
for their
have.
pack. This could be quite a silly game. They've not got a great pack.
So if we take a decent pack, I'll be honest. If McLeod and Costello are starting, then like John just said, I'm comfortable with the defense. You know, they it's those two. Josh has the biggest impact, but Sammy is up there in second on our list. Both of them start, and defense shouldn't be much of an issue unless we are starting to go down into the academy players. If I thought Yori Badham was absolutely amazing against Glasgow, but it is a completely different kettle of fish playing against Bordeaux. Put him up against what Peno. Could you imagine that? It'd be a
um,
great experience, but I wouldn't
Yeah.
want to watch it just yet. Give
Louis
I
give
would
it
Melby,
love
another
right?
couple of years.
Costi kicking against Jalabert though. That I would like to see. That I
Costi
would like
smash
to
him
see.
every day of the week.
Yeah,
Every day of the week.
Jalibert is good.
so
Nothing
Sammy.
next to our boy. He's nothing.
Back row. So you think McLeod? No reason for Fletcher Anderson probably not to play this
No,
game.
I've
No.
got a terrible feeling it's going to be Dan Davies o'clock.
Yeah, I wouldn't want that. I'd probably see Tain come back in if he is available. Uh,
I've got a feeling that
then
Fletcher's going to be one of those he plays every minute of every game players.
I'm happy for that. I really am happy for that, especially the time of year that he's come. He's had a nice long break. What is this? Something like 8 games, six, seven, 8 games before, and then a nice few weeks off for the Six
Mm,
Nations. No reason he can't do that.
it's fine.
No reason every player can't do that, but obviously you're going to want to pick and choose, especially with the ages on some. Like you wouldn't want Sam Lousy and Jake Ball to be playing that sort of rugby, would you?
No. What we really need to do is give Cubby a Thomas Cook. Oh no, they went bust, didn't they? Tui, a Tui gift card so he can go to New Zealand on his Christmas holidays and see if he can find a lock or two.
Lovely
That would
weather.
be, yeah, fantastic. That's what we need.
I don't know. I might maybe send him to South America. I'm sure there's some big bruises down there that we can
Not
get
for the
for very
locks.
very cheap.
So you want him to go to
Brazil and
what's it
Uruguay.
called? Atlanta in Argentina, no, the Welsh speaking part.
Oh
Find
yeah.
find a few big sheep farmers, 7 foot tall sheep farmers, and bring them down.
If they're available. I mean, I don't know what the currency exchange rate is, but I'm pretty sure 10 grand would satisfy them for a few years.
That'll do. It'll do.
We don't need
Cuxon
any more
probably
locks. We've
in.
got Harvey Coxon.
Oh yeah, Cuxon in.
And and Jack Price is not far off for what I heard.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, Dan
So
Davis, Fletcher
Jared Taylor,
Anderson, Jared Taylor.
Tainen on the bench. Who knows? Who knows?
Yeah,
This is all speculation.
if they're not, it's all speculation. That's the whole concept, isn't it? That's the. But
I could
it's
probably, do we see Blair come back in for this one?
I'd like him to.
I'd like him to be involved in the 23. How much involvement, that'll depend on him, obviously. But I, I'd like Jack Davis to keep that 15 shirt for just one more game. Just one more game. Give him 3 games in a row. I think that's good going for any young player.
I think if you're not planning on starting McLeod or Costello, then there's not much value in putting Murray and Plumtree out there. They've had enough of a run around. Like this is literally they've had giving them two
Depend
weeks off is fine.
Murray, yes. Plumtree, it'll depend on his current level of match
Because he has a
fitness, how he
10-minute break
feels.
during all the games he plays anyway.
Stop. There's no need for this.
When else is he going to have his espresso and little biscuit? That's
Yeah.
it's a man of luxury.
Do you think that would go down well? If we ever interview him and we just ask him, what's your yellow card routine? How do you think that would go?
Do you have any yellow card superstitions that
Yeah.
you do before you come back on the pitch?
What do you do while you're in there? Crossword?
Oh, Boisbach.
He doesn't strike me as a crossword kind of guy.
No. Sudoku, maybe?
Pretty,
Word
maybe
search.
Sudoku, yeah.
Word search. Wow. Dot to dot.
Oh. I put all these dots together and it's someone hitting another man in the head
It's a
with his shoulder.
dinosaur! Yay!
Oh,
We
God.
can't. It wouldn't make any sense if the podcast was called Tame Plumtree's Dot to Dots. But we'd
No,
find it funny.
but if it's called Tane Plumtree's dot to dots and you've made it this far, let us know.
Oh, wow.
Mm.
So, yeah, if you have made it this far, please like, share, subscribe, hype if you're on YouTube, and just put us on to go to sleep. Even mute us, just put us on to go to sleep. It all helps. It all helps.
And put down in the comment section what dot to dot puzzle you think Tane Plumtree is doing during his next yellow card.
It's going to be a man. Oh, look, he's picking up the ball. He's offside. It's me. Oh, wow.
Tane Plumtree's autobiographical dot to dots is oh God.
Every single page is an image of him conceding a penalty, and it's like it's over $5.
Here's one I conceded against the All Blacks. It was a great penalty.
Oh, boys, we got
There's a pop-up book.
The pop-up, you open it and the shoulder comes straight out of the book.
The book's offside.
Oh, this is wrong. Okay, are we doing predictions?
We really like you, Tane. If you're listening,
love
by the way,
Tane.
you're one of our best players. You're one of our favorite players.
I
Saying
love
this
him
about
so
you because
much.
we love you.
Just if you've listened to this, go back and watch and listen to the Tame Plumley Defence League episode. Just listen to that to finish your night off. Don't finish it on this, please.
Honestly, one of those things I was thinking watching the Bristol game was I think that if Tane Plumtree was in the starting 15, I do think it improves the chance of winning that because I think it just gives you a little bit more grit and abrasiveness than maybe we were missing. Big fan.
I agree.
It also allows us to put one of our 3 locks that started on the bench and have a lock on the bench to bring on. No, that's a nice thing to have. Yeah. Okay. Regardless of what 23 turns up, how much we win in this game by on the weekend?
Scarlets by 2.
No,
I've
that's
said
wrong.
it now. It's too late.
No, it's not too late.
Yes, it is.
How can we get your prediction, please? No one heard it. You can't say Scarlets by 2, by the way.
Scarlets by 2.
He's a dick. He really is.
Scarlets by Deportier, the outside centre.
Apparently, he's being rested.
Oh, okay. Well, then definitely a Scarlets win. I'll take Scarlets by 4.
Is that 4?
4, yeah.
4. Wow, I'm going to be bold. I reckon we're going to smash these boys left, right, and centre. Scarlets by 1. There we go. We've gone over the hour mark, boys. This is not good.
We've gone well
this
over.
This is not good. So yeah, again, made it this far. Like, share, subscribe, boys. Been nice chatting with you. It's time to settle down for the night, and we'll do it all again next week and celebrate a wonderful win against Bordeaux, whatever round it is, and the start of our winning run that goes all the way to the Champions Cup and URC final. I have to remember the name. I was about to say Pro 12. Right then, boys. Nice having you. We'll do it all again next week. Yeah, happy?
Okay.
Happy?
Cheers.
Bye, peoples.